Hello, everyone. I'm Megan,
I'm Hannah.
Tree Ranch.
and we're doing the presenting our silver nanoparticle synthesis project. Our goal is to understand how changing reagent quantities affects the size, the shape, the color, and absorbance properties of silver nanoparticles. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through what nanoparticles are, how they form in our experiment, our hypothesis, our experimental plan, and what we expect our data to look like. So this is our what color is silver nanoparticle project. And this will be the next slide.
What are nanoparticles? Nanoparticles are extremely small particles between 1 and 100 nanometers. At this scale, materials behave differently than they do in bulk form because of two major reasons. These two reasons are because they have a very large surface area to volume ratio. They experience quantum effects to change their optical and chemical behavior. These unique properties are why nanoparticles are used in medicine, electronics, environmental cleanup, and consumer products. In our experiment, we're working with silver nanoparticles, which show different colors depending on their size and shape.
All right, so to further understand how nanoparticles form in our experiment, it helps to zoom in to the particle level, which is kind of what we kind of try to demonstrate with our graph we have on the bottom slide. Essentially, we're going to start with silver nitrate, which provides the silver ions, and then we add sodium bromohydride, a strong reducing agent. It donates electrons to those silver ions, turning them into neutral silver atoms. These atoms begin to cluster together in a process called nucleation. Once small clusters form, they grow into nanoparticles. Other reagents help control the final shape, size. Some of these reagents are sodium citrate, which will stabilize the particles and prevent clumping up. We have hydrogen peroxide as well, can reshape the particles by oxidizing the edges. And sodium bromide, another influential one, which can help growth direction and can help form triangular or prismatic shapes. The balance of these reagents determine the final color and optical properties of the nanoparticles.
Our hypothesis is that changing the amounts of sodium citrate, sodium bromide, and hydrogen peroxide will change the size and shape of the silver nanoparticles. Because nanoparticle size and shape affect their surface, we expect these changes to produce different solution colors and different wavelengths of maximum absorbance, or lambda max, in the UV vis spectrum. If our hypothesis is correct, adjusting reagent quantities should lead to predictable shifts in color and length.
This is our experimental plan. So we have a table of the reagent quantities that we'll use for experiments. So with the reagents, we have silver nitrate, sodium borohydride, sodium citrate, hydrogen peroxide, sodium bromide, and we have each concentration listed below and the volumes of each. So silver nitrate and sodium borohydride stay constant in every trial. We only change sodium citrate, hydrogen peroxide, and sodium bromide, and this allows us to isolate how each reagent affects nanoparticle formation. So this experiment can just determine how reagent concentrations influence nanoparticle properties.
All right, so in the expected data, we're going to collect two types of main data. It's going to be qualitative observations, which is the color notably of the solution, and quantitative, which is the UV to V spectrum, focusing on the wavelength of each of the properties, maximum absorbance, lambda max. If our hypothesis is correct, we could create smaller nanoparticles, bluer, lighter colors with a lambda max at shorter wavelengths, or larger or differently shaped nanoparticles, darker slash more reddish colors of the higher lambda max to shift it to longer wavelengths. Um, Distinct reagent combinations should produce lambda max values separated by at least 15 nanometers as required by the lab, but each trial should produce a unique absorbance peak that reflects how the reagent quantities influence nanoparticle growth.
On our next slide, this is our references. We just had a video attached that helped us explain what nanoparticles were and how they applied to this experimental lab procedure. And on our next slide, this is a group picture of us. And lastly, thank you so much for reading our nanoparticle presentation and listening to us speak about it.